All right, welcome back to Daybreak here on this Thursday morning. It is 6 o'clock as everybody's getting up for school, getting up for work here. And it's still a little bit humid outside. We've been talking about this all morning long, and you're going to need to, I guess, bring the umbrella again.
Yeah, another round of some scattered showers and thunderstorms for today, mainly late this morning, early afternoon, kind of like we've been seeing the last few days. Right now, things are pretty quiet. Nothing along the coast, at least the immediate coast, and we have a few sprinkles maybe just north of Woodville up near Cominale, but those are very light. Besides that, nothing going on across southeast Texas as far as the radar is concerned. We'll go with just a 30% chance and maybe an isolated shower here or there at 7 a.m. By 10 a.m., about a 40% coverage, and then by the early afternoon, 50% coverage of some scattered showers and thunderstorms. Those numbers should start to come down as we head towards the early evening, around about 30%. So, like I said, probably around the lunchtime, probably see our best chance of seeing some rain. Highs around 90 today with south winds at 5 to 15. Get ready because a dry, hotter forecast is in the works for the weekend. We'll show you that coming up in weather.
Well, the CDC is planning for fully vaccinated to receive booster shots 8 months after getting the second dose of the Moderna or the Pfizer vaccines. Now, top health officials say that data has shown that the shots become less effective over time. Our 12 News reporter Amelia White talked to Jefferson County officials asking how they're planning to roll out the third dose.
Shot as another layer of protection. They say signs shows the vaccine's effectiveness is falling for those who receive both doses.
If you've already rolled up your sleeves twice, get ready to roll it up again.
All that booster shot is saying is that you still have antibodies, but you got to increase your levels.
U.S. health officials are calling for an extra shot of the Pfizer and Moderna vaccine. Amid the surging of the Delta variant, Dr. Ray Callis says it's time to beef up protection.
Because there's studies out there stating that if you have a high enough antibody level, you're pretty protected from the variant and from any part of the coronavirus.
An evaluation is pending by the FDA and the CDC, but doses could begin to roll out the week of September 20th.
Do I think there's going to be a massive line? Yes. There's going to be a need for all hands on deck.
So how are health departments preparing for a potential high demand? Port Arthur Health Director Judith Smith says they're ready to pivot if need be.
We will look at a larger venue, and of course the Civic Center is possibly going to be, the option.
As health officials prepare to get an extra dose in arms, they're still asking some to get their first dose.
We're just asking you to start to get your first vaccination. We're still way below the country average. Matter of fact, we're probably one of the lowest vaccinated rates counties in probably the state of Texas.
Smith says they're trying every possible way to change that.
I mean, when we have the Stripe team that's doing the homebound, that's setting up at churches, setting up in our sister cities, like we had a clinic yesterday in Nederland till 7:30 last night.
Dr. Callis is encouraging you, your family and friends, loved ones to get vaccinated. Right now, the only people who are approved to get the third shot are the immunocompromised. In Beaumont, Amelia White, 12 News.
And these recommendations come as Southeast Texas hit 2 all-time highs. So let's take a look by the numbers here. 644 new cases were confirmed in our region yesterday, and you can see that rapid rise right there. And yesterday just stands out. It is the highest single-day total during the entire pandemic. And there are also 240 patients in Jefferson County hospitals. That's the most ever. The ICUs are jam-packed with nearly 76% of patients battling COVID. Well, since the start of the pandemic, there's been a ton of controversy surrounding how effective a mask is against COVID-19. And now that kids are back in school, some parents have had to make decisions on whether or not to send their child with one, and some are worried about mask bullying. Our Kara Willis joins us right now this morning to tell us about how parents are feeling about the mask bullying and what local districts are doing to prevent it. Good morning, Kara.
Good morning, Nick. Bullying can be traumatic on someone's self-esteem, and adding mass bullying to that, I can imagine it being even worse, especially for kids and teens. Several parents in BISD worry about this happening to their child. Despite the latest COVID cases within the school district, many have reported seeing a lot of kids and teachers wearing masks on the first day of classes earlier this week. Many of their fears are that even if they send their child to school with a mask, that they'll be teased or even feel a bit of peer pressure from their peers to take it off. BISD did not respond with a comment on how they'll handle mass bullying, but Deputy Superintendent Julie Goche with Port Neches Grove ISD did with a plan in place for P&G students.
We do not see that becoming an issue. That's part of what we teach. It's part of our social emotional instruction. It's part of character building, is appreciating others, respecting differences, all those things. So if any of that occurs, it'll just be a learning opportunity for us to teach them and to explain why we appreciate each other's differences.
Goche recommends that if you have a concern about your child being bullied over a mask, to contact your child's school. She says that all last year they continued in-person instruction, and overall students did well. This year she says that you'll see some students and teachers wearing masks and some won't, but the district hopes that parents will work with the schools to ensure that nothing like this becomes a problem. Again, we didn't receive a response from BISD right now about how they'll handle any mass bullying that comes up, but coming up next, I'll tell you more on how parents are feeling about the issue. Nick?
To Power City now this morning, where the Port Arthur Community Action Network and 2 other activist organizations are joining up. The groups are calling for an EPA investigation. Now, they claim the state has allowed the Oxbow petroleum coke plant to operate without modern pollution controls.
Oxbow released over 22 million pounds of sulfur dioxide each year between 2016 through 2019 based on available data from the state. This particular facility is producing 92% of the sulfur dioxide air pollution in Jefferson County because it lacks those emission controls.
Now, that's Amy Dent from the group Lone Star Legal Aid, and they allege the state violated federal laws by issuing air pollution control permits to Oxbow, but failing to require pollution control devices because this impacts a predominantly minority region. The Port Arthur Community Action Network wants the EPA to investigate whether the TCEQ violated the Civil Rights Act of 1964.
What better place to show that you're going to put your money where your mouth is and do the right thing to help people in these types of communities.
An Oxbow representative actually stopped by the press conference but declined to comment about the allegations.